it is worthwhile to talk about this. Of course, before we get started, there will be no audio from the game, just jazz. And it's just me running some experiments to figure out a new fast attack machine. But in any case, with all that out of the way, this is a topic I never actually thought I'd cover on this channel because, it's not really one of my things to cover. But I figured, what the hell. I figured, why the hell not? So, obviously what I'm covering today is MGTOW, as you can see from the title. Now, MGTOW stands for Men Going Their Own Way, and that's very interesting. Sorry. What can I describe MGTOW as? Well, I can honestly not, or should I say, I can honestly describe it what it's not. The common accusation of MGTOW is it's a mirror image of feminism, or it's, just this collective of, angry, bitter men, or, men that can't get laid, stuff like that. The usual diatribes. And honestly, it's where MGTOW gets its negative connotations from, I think, is a mix of whatever that's about. Don't really care. I think it's mostly just a mixture of what little truth. It's mostly just accusations and conjecture, speculation, with just the barest minimum of truth that I think they can get away with putting into it, without acknowledging any of the merits. That's what I think it is. Or if there are any merits acknowledged, they're quickly swept aside for ideology. Your personal beliefs. I'm someone who I guess you could say doesn't believe. Wow. That is very interesting. Huh. Well, that was cheap. But, yeah. I think what the problem is people just assume. Or they go to something like MGTOW.com or whatever. Basically, what MGTOW to me seems a lot more nuanced than most people get credit for. Me, what I see is a lot of individualism, actually. Now, what I mean by that is that there is no actual centralized belief system. It's not like a religion or anything. It's more of a mathematic equation, or I should say it's the end result of one. And what do I mean by that? Well, as Miss Christina Howe Summers herself actually has pointed out, this is actually known as the factual feminist. So, as she's actually noted, men tend to have much higher incarceration rates, conviction rates. Or say there's much higher conviction rates for men than there is women. There are, I suppose you could say, higher sentences for men for the same crime as women, which that's actually quite interesting. And actually quite irritating at the same time. And in the media, men are constantly told about how their, masculinity is toxic. They're inherently, I guess, born wrong would be the appropriate connotation. It's the same as original sin. Every man's a perpetrator in waiting, basically. Which, is not appreciated. And then, of course, there's the idea that, there's the whole thing of the biased courts, which actually that's mostly a function of the state overreaching and trying to, just gobble up as many resources from the plow horses as possible. I mean, I'm sure if women were the ones who were the breadwinners, they would be the ones getting the screws put to them. Mostly are these days, so. Oh, by the way, for the women who want to apparently say, well, anything women can do, anything men can do, women can do better, well, by all means, go ahead, be the breadwinners, be the, be the people that the courts constantly screw over resources. And the lawyers attack like vultures constantly to squeeze every last dollar they can out of you. By all means, go ahead, take that, Scott. I'm sure men won't mind. But in all seriousness, though, these sorts of things are this may have not been the best idea. For him, anyway. For me, I'm laughing. Any case, so with all that in mind, with the idea that men are these perpetrators in waiting, I mean, they're certainly left behind as far as schools go, with typically boys being more active than girls, boys being treated as defective girls, basically. Well, because boys, they tend to be more rambunctious, they tend to want to move around more and all that. Girls, they typically sit still a lot easier. So, a lot of teachers will just prefer to deal with just girls and put boys on friggin' Ritalin and stuff like that. God forbid you should have to do your fucking job. But in any case, or should say be good at it. But that's a whole other tangent for another time. The point about MGTOW is it's quite literally a cost-benefit analysis to a lot of these men. And quite honestly, women may think that they're at the center of the whole equation, or some people may think that women are at the center of the whole equation, like men just hate women, that these MGTOWs just hate women and can't stand them and, get back in the kitchen and shit like that. But that's not it. No. Cut that out. No, it's mostly this idea that society and the state in particular treat these men who get into relationships, the relationship fails at some point, and then a whole parade of first there's usually the false domestic violence accusations in civil court, because in federal court a guy can actually have a chance at fair trial and jury. No, not in civil court. So there's this idea of false accusations, and then there's the whole having to pay child support and alimony, which I have no idea why the guy has to pay both. Like, make it one or the other, and make it adjustable to the man's income. being living a higher lifestyle than she normally would be as a single person because of, living with this guy that might be, I'd say, comfortably well off. For some reason, he has to pay to keep her in the lifestyle she's accustomed to, which that in itself just... What? No. I don't continue to pay for you to have a lifestyle you had when you were living with me. That's like me saying to my boss, that's like me saying to the place I work at, like my boss and stuff, saying, okay, yeah, you're gonna fire me or I'm gonna quit, but I expect you to keep paying for the lifestyle I've become accustomed to from having this job. No. What? Get out with that. Get out with that garbage. I mean, child support, fine. Even if I've seen it be abused a lot. But whatever. That's besides the point. Well, actually, no, that's part of the point. So, with the sentencing gap, the conviction rate gap, the male suicide gap, with society and mostly the system doing its level best once and I'm just going to scrap this piece of junk on the couch. Okay, that did not go as planned. Anyway, as I was going to say, sorry, I just... What change out to the poster? Just so I don't run into my power consumption problems. With all of this math in mind that we can see, and let's not forget that on top of that, as far as parental rights go, men don't have those either. If, say there is a relationship, even if it's on the rocks or whatever, once a woman gets pregnant, the man has absolutely no say. He has now, where the woman has the ability to say, okay, I don't want this child, I can just terminate it. The man can't say, well, I would like to have this child, So just have the child and I'll take care of it instead. You can do your own thing. No. No, a man's not allowed to do that for some reason. Which is ass backwards to me, really. And the reason it's ass backwards to me is because, well, if the mother doesn't want the child, then why not just give the child to the father instead of just killing it? That doesn't make any sense to me. Or if, say, the reverse is true, the mother wants the child and the father doesn't, well then, much like the mother has the ability to just put the child up for adoption and completely avoid parental responsibility in all manner, including financial. Then the man should actually have the same rights. He should be able to say, okay, I do not want to have any responsibility for the child, but at the same time, that means he can't, later come back and really ever be a part of that child's life. Because he made that decision. So, I do not understand why a man doesn't have this option. But so there's also that. So now we've taken into account all these different factors, like I've mentioned, and men that go MGTOW basically see, okay, there's this, and that thing that's wrong, and nobody seems to be in a rush to fix it. Because every time there is a push to try and, equalize things, you make things equitable, basically. Every time that happens, there's women's advocacy groups, mostly feminists, who screech at the top of their lungs to make sure it doesn't happen. Like pulling fire alarms and all sorts of other crazy shit. So, yeah. So much for equal rights. But, in that same vein, it's like, well, then what do you do? What do? You have basically no rights, no options. And 70% of the time it's women who initiate the divorce anyway. So, clearly there's an incentive to do so. Like, a woman can simply just do it for any reason. I mean, like, even if a woman actually cheats on a man, which does happen more often than you may think, even if a woman cheats on a man, and he finds out, she still is entitled. She still, for some reason, if he gets a divorce from her, can still get half his resources. I mean, can still be entitled to anything, which to me is ass backwards. I mean, you chose to betray someone. You chose to betray the other person's trust. So why in blazes should you be entitled to anything at that point? Okay, that was stupid. I basically just launched Swarm into the side of that pillar for no reason. So, yeah. Stupid idea. Ow. But, with all of this in mind, now keep in mind, this, and I'm actually probably missing a few things, but this is just the main talking points in MGTOW, from what I've seen, is that men universally get the short end of the stick when it comes to relationships and when it comes to society, relationships, the courts. Hate to say it, but doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Probably just gonna chill. Actually, yeah, I'll try it. Why not? But so with all of this in mind, this is the crux of what MGTOW find is that it's a mathematical problem, and men, on average, are getting the short end of the stick. So then their idea is, well, why should I? I mean, there's all this risk, but there's all this risk, but the rewards are nothing, really. I mean, yeah, there's this idea of children and all that, but through a divorce, it's quite possible you'll never actually see those children. You'll end up having to pay for them, of course, but you'll never get to see them, because the mother is a vindictive bitch who will make sure you don't. And don't get me wrong, there are men who do the same thing to mothers, but that's very, very rare. Like, exceedingly rare. Especially since most of the time men don't get custody anyway. Anyway, so, yeah. I can honestly see where the MGTOW are coming from and the idea, well, you know, I really would rather not take this risk, if at all possible, because it seems like a stupid idea. Now, don't get me wrong, there are relationships that do last, and there is that possibility, well, you could be one of the few that make it through. Yeah, you could also run through a minefield and not get blown up, but it's still not a smart idea. And that's quite literally what it's actual. That's quite literally what it could be equated to, actually, is running through a minefield, because one slight misstep and all of a sudden you're, well, to paraphrase, well, to put in the words of Deadpool, shit will just go sideways in the most colossal way possible. And it could be for any reason, or no reason at all. The woman can just not be happy, and that's it. And regardless if the guy ends up living out of his car, he's still expected to make all those payments. Oh, and you remember those false accusations I said about earlier? Yeah. The guy could end up losing his job over that. Which is interesting, since he'll still be expected to make all those payments. And then he'll get put in prison because he can't make payments. Well, in Canada anyway, you don't go to prison, I don't think, for not being able to make child support payments. But you constantly get told, you're a deadbeat dad and all that for not paying for kids that you'll never see. Holy shit, no wonder the male suicide rate is so high. Eesh. So, that's basically what MGTOW is a mathematical equation. Coming to the consensus, well, maybe not consensus, it's coming to the conclusion that, okay, this, and this are all biased, and, yeah, you got a really small hope in hell of ever changing anything. Since women's advocacy groups will fight like hell to make sure it doesn't happen. So these guys are basically just, okay, so what the hell's the point in me trying with relationships? That's literally what it is. It's all of this, knowing all of this can and often does happen. I mean, getting married is basically handing a loaded gun to the state and letting them and getting the woman to point it at your head. So now you better work that extra shift. You better take all those extra hours, you better skip that vacation. Because if you don't, you're done, bub. And she's going to leave your ass high and dry. At least that's the general idea. And I know, that doesn't always happen. There are plenty of times where the divorce is equitable, and there's also plenty of times where it just doesn't happen, and they do live happily ever after. I understand that. Okay, I guess these guys have like manual aim or something. That's a first. Now I myself, as far as what I believe, I'll admit, I've had my fair share of messy breakups, relationships, failed relationships. And now when I see the warning signs that, things are going that way again, I tend to hit the eject button as soon as I can. Because I've had enough bad relationships to see where certain things are going. I see the red flags and I just run like hell the other way. And it's made me timid in starting new relationships. It really has. I'm not saying I'm MGTOW per se myself because of the fact that I know that right now, especially for me, that I'm really not in a frame of mind to be starting a relationship right now. I'm not. I don't know when I will be, but it might be somewhere in the future. Probably sometime in the future. Bye-bye. Anyway, that's what MGTOW is in a nutshell. It's looking at society, it's looking at the numbers, and it's saying, well, why would I want to be a part of all that? Yeah, there's the odds that, you could be successful. You could be one of the relationships that succeeds, but there's much greater odds that it could fail. And even in a relationship, there's every chance that, his partner could cheat on him, just refuse any and all intimacy with them. But he still has to provide the lifestyle to her. I mean, hell, she could even just refuse to have kids after the rings already been put on. And if Me Too has proven anything, there are false accusers coming out of the woodwork these days. Because for some reason it's fashionable to be a victim. So, yeah. As much as people may not want to admit it, MGTOW have a point. They have some very valid points. And to ignore any of that, to be willfully ignorant of the fact that, there are MGTOW who have valid points, that MGTOW do have some valid points and criticisms, is to basically say, well, yeah, okay, there is the X, Y, and Z reasons for all this, but we just don't care. You need to go out and try anyway. Well, that's a little tyrannical, don't you think? I mean, I'm sure if we solved these problems and just made divorce more equitable and all that, and we didn't just, continuously stack the deck against men, I'm sure these guys would get married in a heartbeat, honestly. But as it stands, the system is the way it is. Society is the way it is. And oddly enough, women are just a very... I want to say that women are not actually really the main focal point of MGTOW, so much as society and the government in general, the way they treat men who get married. I mean, to be quite honest, from what I've heard of MGTOW, at least the majority of them, they see women as more peripherally related. Yeah, sure, the attitude doesn't help. With some women being vindictive and evil. But honestly, that's just on an individual basis. It's society and government that's the real problem. But, hey, that's just what I've found over years of research. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I thank you for watching. As always, I have been your Bishop. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, and do donate to my PayPal or Patreon. Links are in the description. It can be just any amount you want. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.